All right, welcome back to another episode of the From Half Court Sports Talk Show with Darren and Rob. Today we're going to be going over yesterday's NBA playoff games. So let's start off with the Minnesota Memphis Grizzlies game. Uh, what's your first thoughts about this game, Darren?
It was a good game. Memphis came back and got their revenge. Like we knew they would. They was a second, they're the number two seed in the West, so they wasn't gonna go out like that again. Anthony Edwards still gets his. But yeah, they came out and gave him the business, and it was all night.
I thought Carl Anthony Towns so they showed Carl Anthony Towns and John Morant's dad at the game. Uh they were just like kind of talking shit to each other. Apparently they're I'm assuming that they're good friends or whatever, or they made a bet on the game. I thought that made an interesting dynamic for the game as well. About the actual basketball game though, I agree with you that that the Grizzlies were going to come back with a vengeance. Uh, it's good for them that they stole home court, obviously, that they're going back to Memphis. I do believe they do have the ability to win both those games in Memphis. So I think this is a really big win for them. I think I said that wrong. They're in Memphis right now. Uh,
You
so
most
they,
definitely said that wrong. I was confused over here.
uh, so yeah, I take that back. Then. This it's still good that they were able to save home court a little bit. If they dropped two games at home, that would have been actually horrible. On Timberwolves side, they just didn't shoot well, in my opinion, especially from like their key players, aka D'Lo, Anthony Edwards. 40%, 4 for 10 is still a good percentage, but you need him to shoot better than that.
When you say shooting, are
Overall,
you talking about specifically 3 point?
no, I'm talking about field goals too,
All right.
field goal percentage as well. I still expect the. I honestly I expect them to split the Minnesota games, and when they go to Minnesota, I see Memphis winning the first game, then Minnesota winning the second game, and they're coming out of the first four games 2-2. But I still have John Moran in them coming. I'm sorry, I still have the Minnesota Timberwolves coming out of this series in seven.
So you got the 7 seed beating the 2 seed in the West.
Yep. So like I said from the first day, it's just the veteran presence. They've been in the league a little bit longer. I do get it. I get it. This is their first playoff appearance. They don't have playoff experience, but I think their NBA experience is going to prove well in this series. It's going to show when it gets
If
deeper.
you're confident on this, are you gonna put money on it?
Not the series. But I'll probably bet individual games.
No, I'm betting the series because that's not going to happen.
Oh,
Timberwolves are going
you
to
already bet
lose
the
the
series?
series. I mean, I'm willing to bet this series with you, but
Oh, you're talking about with me. I thought you're talking
he,
with my bookie. I'll bet. I'll bet with you.
I got Memphis winning the series.
I'll take Minnesota in seven.
$5
That's fine.
bet. Um, but yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting series. Still, I don't think. I just think Timberwolves came out with less energy, and I just don't think Memphis is going to keep on coming out with low energy, even on the road.
My bad. I just had to write that down so we wouldn't forget it. So we got $5 on the rest of this series. Shout out to Cat and them. I'm about to be the biggest Minnesota Timberwolves fan since like shit since KG played there.
I've been a Ja fan. I've been a Ja fan since
Who
day
doesn't like
one.
Ja?
So
We
I'm just
I've
saying.
liked Ja since that senior year of college.
I mean, that's cool and everything, but I like Memphis too. I like this team. I like Jaren Jackson Jr. I've been waiting for him to be solid, like a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously, it took a point guard to make him better. Um, but yeah, I like this team. I like the Timberwolves too. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns is my favorite center, but I just think the number two seed is not about to go out like that. It'd be different if this was years ago when it was in the playing game, but Ja, Dylan Brooks, they just keep getting better year for year. And I just think this is the year that they come out the first 1st.
'Round. All right. So the next game we're going to cover is the Miami Atlanta game. My God, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is proven again why it might have been a
Go ahead and
bad bet.
say it.
Huh?
Go ahead and say it. I want the world to hear what you got to say right now.
He's basically proven my opinion wrong that he's the worst superstar in the league. I said
Rob
that
was wrong. Rob was wrong. Thank you.
he's definitely not the worst superstar in the league anymore.
Never
Um,
was. He never was. You're just disrespectful. I was just disrespectful.
yeah, yes he was, but he's proven again that he's not he, that he's proven and that he's a true superstar. He's a true middle of the pack superstar for his team. Um,
No, he did not just say this. Did you just say a middle of the pack superstar for his team?
not for like compared to the league, he's a middle of the pack superstar in the league for his team. Obviously, he's the number one guy.
That's just disrespectful. That's just disrespectful. It's just disrespectful. Ah, that's
But
disrespectful.
Jimmy had a really good game yesterday. He dropped 45 points. Miami looked good as a whole. Um, they shot really well from the field. Uh, let's see. Kyle Lowry didn't shoot well from three. Um, Tyler Hero not shooting well, and where's Duncan at? Duncan really didn't play. But Jimmy Butler won them this game. Won them this game. He was just dominant, bro. I don't. When Jimmy's on, there's not a lot you can do in the league to stop him. You just kind of hope he misses and has a bad game because he's such a great defender and such a great two-way player. He affects both sides of the floor. It's just dominance. What are your thoughts on this game?
Um, I think you're disrespectful to Jimmy. I'm gonna leave that alone. I think offensively, there's not a player in the league who's a superstar that when they're on, you really can't stop them. A la the next game we're going to talk about. I'll bring that back up here in a second. But there's not much you could really do to stop them. And then on top of it, Jimmy Butler plays both sides of the ball, which just makes him great for Miami. I like him with that team. I like Kyle Lowry with this team. I think this is a great defensive team. Um, built up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, they got the perfect matchup going up against the Hawks because the Hawks isn't a great defensive team. They're more lean on their offensive firepower and their 3-point shooting and such. And well, let's be real. Jimmy Butler also went off because Clint Capella wasn't there. Um, because it opens up more stuff in the paint and stuff. But yeah, without Clint Capella there, they definitely don't got a chance. It's not going to happen. So if he's not back by the next game, it's not going to happen. It's just not.
Is it just as simple as that's their biggest defensive presence besides John Collins, a rim protector, and you lose one rim protector?
That's their rim. That's their rim protector in general. When he came over for that Houston trade, when James Harden was with Houston, I was like, "Yo, this is a great deal for Atlanta. This is great. That's the one thing they was missing. They got the shooters. Now they got the big man with the shooter. They got pick and roll partner with a trade. But if he's going to miss another game, this series is 100% over. They're not
Oh,
going to. At most, it goes 5. But if Clint Capella's not there, it's probably over in 4. To be honest with you,
I still
like
really
you
like
can't.
I still really like John Collins in that position to back him up. But the problem is they
No.
don't John Collins is a great rim protector to when you take Clint off the floor, you can keep him there and go small and put him there. He can also spread the floor for you as well. So, but without Clint there,
It
that just
doesn't
puts a
work.
lot of pressure on John Collins to be the number one rim protector on that team.
It doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter what Collins does. Bam Adebayo is too athletic for him. Bam Adebayo
Hold on, there, you
could
froze.
still
You froze. Repeat. Stop. Just give me a second.
hear me.
Give it a second.
All right, let me know when you can
Repeat
hear me.
everything that you just said about him being too athletic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Bam Adebayo is too athletic for John Collins. John Collins might move well, but he's too. He's a Bam Adebayo is a real center. I know people don't like this. think that because he's not big. He's not Jokic big, not Embiid big, but he's a legit center and he moves like a power forward.
I thought
And
he played
there's
fine against him yesterday, though. You don't think so?
it
I
it
was supposed
wears
to like he
on
was
him,
giving him
bro. It wears
buckets.
on him. It's two different body frames, bro. John Collins is a lot more slender. If somebody's constantly putting their chest and putting their shoulder in your chest, when you that small, when you not as heavy as him, I would say, you're gonna feel it. And it's not gonna be you could say he played good. Let me see Bam Adebayo's numbers.
3 for 6 from the field. Uh,
Okay,
four
fair.
rebounds total for the game.
Fair. He
How many
probably played
blocks?
well
One
against
block,
them.
0 steals. Points for -1.
I don't know, man. I just don't know. I think if
I,
John
I I
Collins
like him
can
as a rim
bring Bam
protector.
Adebayo away from the rim, maybe. But once again, you're leaning on your offense, not your defense.
Definitely, definitely. All right.
And that's just not going to work against most Eastern teams because the Celtics play defense, the Milwaukee Bucks play defense, and Miami plays defense. So they're gonna have to figure this out without their center there, or Capella has to come back. Period.
And unlike the Knicks team they played last year, all those teams you named have just as high scoring offenses.
100%.
That
Yeah.
can that You could say that Atlanta probably scored more points per game in the regular season, but like you said, their defense is going to make up for that, and they just have a high scoring enough offenses to keep up with them, or
Yep.
even because their defense is so good, outscore them by 5 to 10 points.
Yep.
All right. The last game we got to talk about is the game that we called the Brandon Ingram game. We knew for a
You
fact that they
called
were
it
gonna
that. You called it that.
we knew for a fact that they were going to get win them a game. This was definitely that game. Uh, they looked really good in this game, actually, in my opinion. What are your thoughts about it?
Um, my goodness, man, Devin Booker was about to go off last night. I'm not sure if the Suns would have still won it because Brandon Ingram in the second half was kind of unstoppable, and CJ as well, you know. But 31 points and a half, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. It sucks that he got hurt. But and honestly, honestly could possibly change the whole series. They said Devin Booker's not going to play the next two games, so we're going to see what happens. And I really think Bi's been one of my favorite players since honestly probably his first year with the Lakers. I just saw the potential in him. I was like, yo, this guy is going to be a grittier KD, and I think that's why I see him as a grittier KD. Um, but exactly what I said in the last topic, when a player is on, they're so good offensively. There's no stopping them. I don't care how many hands you put in their face. There's no stopping them. He was making assists. He was shooting. He hit the mid range. He hit the three. He got to the basket. He did it all. So this is definitely a win for them. Um, the biggest news is probably still the Devin Booker news. Um, Also CP3. There was parts in the game towards the end of the game I thought he was going to be able to lift the Suns past the Pelicans,
Hmm.
but it was no answer for Bi on the other side, so it wasn't really going to happen. He would have to be like pretty much flawless on the offensive side. CP3. Um, Otherwise than that, one thing I want to shout out is I love playing Valanciunas and Jackson Hayes together
Hmm.
because I think they're pretty much just getting ready for Zion coming back. Where Jackson Hayes is at is where Zion's going to be. That's what I'm thinking. So somebody that runs the floor. I like Jackson Hayes, very energetic, runs the floor, plays good defense, very long defender. Um, and I'm whoever their coach is, shout out to them because Jackson Hayes he was drafted as a center, and it's clear move him at the point at the power forward is a lot better. Uh, Last thing I wanted to say because I'm gonna get this all out before you go in. Um, when Zion does get there, Zion and Bi, I want to know how that actually works, and I want to see if CJ's the person. I have a hunch that CJ's the person that's going to make it all come together for those two players because I think they are both two really good dominant players, but it could be anybody's game. It could be Zion's game. It could be I's game. So
These two next games will be the two most important games of the series. Um, Especially if they're saying Devin Booker's going to be out for the next two games. These are must win games for the Pelicans at home. They have their fans on their side. They have to win these games. If Zion can come back for one of these games, uh, I think that puts them over the mark to beat the Suns. Now, could we say that Zion might have a little bit of ring rust, and he might not be able to go out there right away and put up and be the same exact dominant 20 points in the paint score? Yes, but him being on the court is still going to have an effect on the game that should help the Pelicans. I think the pick and roll game between him and CJ or Bi and Zion, I'm sorry, Bi and Zion will be insane. Both of those dudes can shoot off the screen and attack off the screen, and Zion attacking the basket is damn near unstoppable.
I'm I'm not even putting that out there that Zion's going to come back in this series or this year at all. I just think next year, speaking about next year, I think they're going to have a real solid core three and CJ and Bi and Zion. I think that's going to be a solid team. Also, I like Larry Nance Jr. That dude came in clutch last night with some shots. Um, there was something else I was about to say about this. Um, oh,
Well,
the thing is, I think the Suns are going to at least get one of those games back at New Orleans
so
without
if they
Bi,
do,
without Devin Booker, excuse me.
if they do, I can see them. It will be a mixture of their bench and their starters 3-point shooting.
Next man up, yeah, and they won plenty of games without Devin Booker this year, so I feel like they can do it.
And if any team is built to play without their best player, uh, it's probably the Suns.
Uh, well, maybe they're the best team, so yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
All right, so we there's some games on tonight. Let's preview those games real fast. Chicago, Milwaukee. I think it's pretty
It's
easy.
yeah,
Milwaukee
uh,
should dominate that game and win the series 4-0. Now the fun game of the night that everybody's been waiting for and watching. Who you got in tonight's Brooklyn Boston game?
taking Boston again.
I'll take
Hear me?
Brooklyn in this game. I don't. KD and Kyrie are coming for vengeance this game. They're not. I don't see either of those two dudes going down 2-0, especially losing a close game off the buzzer beater, like they did last time. I see both of them coming out on fire and dominant. Um, Worst case scenario, Kyrie's so locked in, he's either gonna, as I always say, shoot you out the game or blow this Boston team the fuck out. I can see Kyrie going 40 for 45 points or going 10 for like 30. It's going to be one of those games for Kyrie. Kevin Durant, I see a cool 35. Just a cool 35, efficient 35 from Kevin Durant.
Uh,
On Boston
so you got
side,
Brooklyn winning?
yes, I have Brooklyn winning. On Boston side, I do expect big games from Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. The key to this is, oh, I don't think we mentioned this last time. I got to put this out there. Small tangent. Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year, and he has only been 3 guards that ever won Defensive Player of the Year. Him, Michael Jordan, and Gary Payton. So not only is that super impressive, uh, it's just amazing. That's just super impressive. We haven't had that since the 90s. So shout out to Marcus Smart. If Marcus Smart's 3 ball is hitting, you're going to be in a long night with Boston. You're going to be in a long night with Boston because he's that guy to put them over the top when his 3 ball is hitting. And the reason I say that is you don't game plan for Marcus Smart's 3 ball, and they don't run their offense around Marcus Smart's 3 ball. So I feel like that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back in each game. Marcus Smart's 3 ball.
Because he went 4 for 9 in the last game. I think those points could also
Oh,
be. I mean,
If you ever watched Marcus Smart playing with the Boston Celtics, he's always been a very defensive guy. Since he was in college, he got drafted off being his defensive prowess.
Everybody
He's
knows
never
that.
been a great 3-point shooter, but when he's knocking down his three ball consistently in a game, that's going to win them basketball games. As simple as that.
It's not as simple as that.
It is because
It's
that's
not. It's
you don't
not.
prepare for
It's
that.
not. It's not.
You don't
It's
prepare for
not.
Marcus Smart's three ball. And if Marcus Smart is not hitting his three, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are still their main. They're still their main scorers
You're
and
saying
their
if
main
Smart, cause
offense.
Smart is hitting his threes, they're winning the game. I
I'm
can
saying,
see where you're saying that.
yeah,
My problem with that is that if Brooklyn brings a third person with them, why I can't remember the person's name for example, I don't know why, but if they bring the one more scorer with them, Claxton, that's who it is, Claxton. If Claxton has a good game, are you going to say Marcus Smart hitting his threes are going to? If he goes 4 from 9 from three again, the Celtics should pull out the game, even though Claxton is on.
yes.
No, if Claxton, KD, and Kyrie go off, nobody's beating that.
So you
Whoop.
expect all three of them to go off?
Do I expect it? No, absolutely not. I don't expect that. But I think KD will have a good game. Kyrie's going to have a mid-so game, maybe 20 points, something like that. Not shooting great, but not shooting whatever you said. That was too out
I
there. I
said
think you said
he's either
30
going to be
shots.
super bad or he's going to go crazy.
Yeah, but you said like 30 missed shots, or you said like
20
what
missed
attempt
shots.
of 30. That's
10
too
for
much.
30.
That's no.
He
Nah,
already
nah,
does that,
nah.
bro. He just comes down and starts chucking shots. He does that sometimes.
Not with the Brooklyn. He hasn't done that with Brooklyn. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
He hasn't done that with Brooklyn. Last time I seen Kyrie do that, and I held it against him for the longest, and I still hold it against him, was the series when he was with the Celtics and it was versus the Milwaukee Bucks. That man shot like 30% in that whole series. It was terrible. But I haven't seen that since he's been with Brooklyn. He shoots pretty good. Is he capable of it? 100%. I'm sure he is. But it's not for sure. I don't know. I got Boston winning this game tonight. I can tell you that. Because Tatum, Jalen, Marcus Smart, and more importantly, their bigs played. That was the biggest part for me, how the bigs played.
The last game we need to cover is the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Toronto Raptors. Philly's up 2-0 right now. This is obviously a big game for Toronto. It's a must win if they want to stay in the series. Everything says that Philly should win this game. I do like Toronto at home with a chip on their shoulder, so I'm gonna take the upset and take Toronto.
The Sixers are gonna be without Bible, and I think James Harden hasn't been playing well overall, honestly, since last year. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Toronto pulls out this one game, and maybe they go back to Philly 2-2, but I gotta see after tonight.
It all depends if Drake's at the game.
All right,
All right.
whatever.
All right. So thank you all again for watching another episode of the From Half Court Sports Talk Show with Darren and Rob. We'd like to thank you guys for listening to another episode. Make sure you like and subscribe down below, and we'll check you back in with you guys on Friday. Peace.
Peace. Y'all stay up. Let us know what y'all